Hello and welcome to Arsenal Above All, the 150th episode. I don't know where time has gone, but here we are. I'm here with Daniel James, the vlog guy, a guy that's been part of the show from the very first season. How you doing, my friend?
All good, my friend. Happy to be back and to see you, man.
No, it's a pleasure to see you as well, man. I'm sure you had a great summer. You had your wedding anniversary just at the weekend, so you couldn't actually go to the game against Coventry, but
Nah.
more important things. Make sure
Well,
everything's all good at home.
I was in the steam room with my watching the game on my phone. Yeah, I was. I'm not gonna lie, for a few minutes. Only a few minutes. 2 minutes, in case she's watching.
No, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. Steve's having some technical issues. He was meant to be on with us tonight. Hopefully, he'll jump on at some point, but he's having some little bit of gremlins. But no, thanks for your time. Thanks for everyone who is joining us as well. Thank you, Sashwaf21. Come on, you goodness. Yes, indeed. We had a couple of Chelsea fans infiltrating the show last week with some comments. I'm sure they're too busy watching us tonight. They're going to be watching their own team who are playing, and I don't know what the score is, but you know, it's good when people kind of take care of their own team and focus on that rather than us. But I thank you for that comment. Thank you, Brian. He's here as well in the comments. Even it's good to see you too, man. Hopefully have you on very soon. Yes, the 150th show tonight. And Arsenal's, Mikel Arteta's 150th Premier League win as well. So there's a nice correlation there. But let's get into it, Dan. A comfortable 3-0 win. Friday night under the lights, you know, the stage was set. You know, everyone was kind of referring back to the Brentford game, especially with the likes of Neville and Carragher there, and obviously and what happened that night. Ian Wright, you know, actually said something interesting rather than the other thing that we'll talk about later on, when he did say that, you know, those two jumping up and down and dancing the last time, and that put him on the spot a little bit, which was great to see. But the man in focus there, Martin Odegaard, and obviously the lineup the same as the Community Shield, so nothing to worry about there, or nothing to change, apart from obviously, of course, Bruno Guimaraes, who missed out. What's your thoughts on what you saw in that first half, Dan? Obviously, it was important to get, you know, a good sort of, you know, this new style of play that everybody wants to see now from Arsenal, especially now that we've got it over the line, winning the league. What was your thoughts on just that first half performance and how we sort of put it on commentary?
Our staff performance was good. I would say we never really needed to get out of second or third gear, really. Coventry did a lot of running, primarily because we had a lot of the ball. So, um, yeah, I was impressed with some of the combinations that I saw. Definitely, what I would say is having Solis and Saka does seem to have made a big difference already in terms of the two of them. They both have a similar ability to go out and inside. And I noticed that seemed to make our play much more dynamic than with others who tend to play on the left at times. So yeah, we had good control. I was not really worried about anything in the first half. Coventry we were chasing shadows mainly. Obviously, they wanted to make a good impression on their return to the Premier League, but it was a bridge too far for them on occasion. But yeah, really impressed. I was, yeah. I mean, look, respectfully, it's Coventry.
Yeah.
They're not going to give us the toughest of tests at home. So I'm not going to sit here and gloat an opening day win against Coventry. I would say it was a functional. We deserve to be 2-0 up.
Yeah, it was a functional performance. I thought there was definitely, a bit like the Community Shield. There was a lot more speed to our play. I thought there was also the possession, style. They're keeping the ball, moving around. There were a lot of triangles, lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to open them up. But I also thought that the speed of the attack, was really good occasionally, especially when Raya was hitting it out to Solis. Seems to be a tactic where Solis goes into the middle, and
Yeah.
Raya just hits the ball right straight through the middle, through the guts of the opposition, and then obviously hits Solis. Great technique, and he gets a move started. I just think you've got lots of nice options now in that regard, and I think again you go back to Miles. He loves playing like vertical passes in rather than keeping it safe a little bit. And I think I mentioned the last show. Bruno does that as well. It's a shame he was injured. Let's hope it's not nothing long term. Arteta said it isn't anything long term. But I just think the speed of our play now is something I've definitely noticed a difference. And if we're doing that against teams like Coventry, who have a low block in certain instances, they did look a bit tidy when they did have the ball, in the last third of ours. But if we're moving the ball that quickly against teams who are more open, let's say, I'd say, for example, what's happening tonight with Fulham and Chelsea, what happened yesterday with Liverpool. Liverpool really, really open, and giving Newcastle chances. I think it's almost like he was watching a Bournemouth team. The way Iraola plays his football is like basketball stuff. So if we play that speed against a team like that where they're open, I think we're going to get a lot of joy this season. Real joy this season going forward, and again gives teams so many different things to worry about when they play us. Steve's here. How you doing, Steve? Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could just about hear you, man. Fashionably late to the 150th party, so we'll let you off, man. Well, how you doing? You been okay?
Yeah, all good, all good. It's just summer holidays and that.
yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Trying to survive in
Yeah.
the south, as you know. I think we all are. But good to see you, man. Just going to Brian. Hope Arteta's promoted who plays hard to Alvarez, because if he comes in, we're going to be hard to stop. We're going to talk on that certain individual a bit later. But Steve, you saw the game. What was your thoughts on just a synopsis of obviously what you saw, and how you think what you think it means going forward, especially with for me, just the speed of our transitions being a lot more quicker, a more direct attacking, thanks to the likes of Solis.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I said it to you in a chat, Mike. We're playing with more freedom, and we kind of alluded to that last season when we were on your show. That as soon as we got over the line, it was freedom. Like we're able to go forward in a way and play our style of football and play the type of football that Arteta probably wants to play. Last season was necessity. We looked at Man City in the Community Shield, and again against Coventry, and we just played free. The lineup that we've got, even without our new signing, Conter at the back for Saliba, we just look different. Odegaard has looked different. He looks fit. Last season, he didn't look fit. He looked like he was just getting through games and trying to manage himself. Went to the World Cup, had a pretty decent World Cup, and he's come back and he looks fit. Stacker looks fit. I still think he's going to need a few more games. Some of our World Cup boys are still going to need a few more games. Solis, if I'm honest, he's been a revelation of a signing because I didn't know what to expect. He's come in and he's just, as he says he was, he's direct. He's not afraid to take a shot. He's good with the ball. He's intelligent. We look good. And like I said, we sort of alluded to it last season. If we won the league, as we were talking about it, this season would be freedom. You're free to, you've got that off your back. You've got that nearly boys off your back, and you're able to then play with a bit more freedom, and teams will be showing us a bit more respect in terms of going, right, we can't beat the champions, so let's not get beat badly. And that opens up the game for us. And yeah, we're looking pretty good, man. It was a joy to watch.
Yeah, it was indeed. I mean, talking on, you mentioned him, our captain. Obviously last season, lots of flack, obviously with his injuries and the way he was just so deep at times getting the ball and everything. I know it's 2 games in a row. 2 games he scored. 2 goals he scored. This season, 2 games in a row. Dan, what's your thoughts on him? Do you think he's back, or is it too early to say it? Or do you think this more direct, quicker style of play is going to suit him? I think the fact that maybe Miles is in the team, he doesn't need to go back and start off moves like he was doing last season. What's your thoughts on Odegaard? Some people are saying, yeah, this is it, but I think we were burnt a little bit last season because there was a couple of times where he did do that and then picked up a big injury or fell off form. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, Odegaard is, look, admittedly, he's not, he will know himself. He's not been at it for the last probably 18 months to 2 years. Really, he's been had a mixture of fitness issues. He had a baby, didn't he? Had a baby as well. So he's had a number of changes in his life, and that can impact all of us really. Lack of sleep, and the dynamics of your relationship can change, and that can affect your employment and stuff like that when you have your children and stuff like that. So there could be a number of stuff going on, but ultimately his fitness and his availability was severely hampered. And I think, to be fair to him, I mean, I wouldn't say he's back, but I'm definitely giving him a chance to prove that he can be back in that way. That season he had where it was what, remember how many goal contributions it was. I think it was 15 or so in that magnificent season he had. That's the Odegaard I'm looking for. And to be honest with you, even if he didn't have the goal contributions, just the influence on the team, the pressing, the passing down between the lines, the touches, the quick movement. That's what I want to see from Odegaard ultimately. And the evidence of the first 2 games so far, it looks like, you know what, I'll go even further back from the World Cup. Actually, he was looking good. He seems to be continuing. He got 4 assists in the World Cup. Was it 1 goal and 4 assists, something like that?
Yeah.
And he started this season with 2 goals already. So it looks like, to be fair, you look on the evidence of the last 6 or 7 games for club and country, it looks like, actually, let me rephrase what I said. It does look like he's back really, and I'm glad for it. All those Arsenal fans who are trying to sell off Odegaard on X and on TikTok and all of that, shame on yourselves. Hang your heads in shame. Give the guy a chance. He's been magnificent for us for the most part. He's our captain, and he's had a bad couple of years. But we've got to give him a chance. He's still quite young. He's still very influential with the way he plays on our squad. So I'm all for him, man.
Yeah, it was almost like, for me, the World Cup thing, as you mentioned, was like something that was hanging over him, and it was kind of like it was affecting him. He wanted to make sure he was fit for that, and I know that's something that we should, he should club first. He should always think about club first, but it's almost like he's so worried about that, missing that tournament, for the first time in how many years for Norway, that he was kind of wrapping himself in a bubble, in bubble
Yeah,
wraps at
yeah,
certain times when he was playing, until it got to the running when he realised, look, enough's enough. We've got to get over the line.
exactly. And there's one
And
more thing
then,
I want to say, Mike, if you
yeah,
don't
go on,
mind.
go on.
The one thing I want to see from Odegaard is, and the one thing I've criticized him for quite a bit on this show is he's got to show us that he can be in who's on the pitch at the end of the 90 odd minutes and not one of the first players that are. Now
Yeah,
that could have been because of injury or maybe the style of the
yeah,
match maybe
yeah.
dictated that we needed a different type of. Ultimately, really, you don't want your captain coming off
No,
on
no,
75,
no.
80 minutes. So you want him on the pitch until the whistle. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I just wanted to add that.
No, it's true. You're right, and I think maybe because he's had a good, like you said, he's had a good World Cup. He looked like his old self.
Yeah.
That's done now, and he's run with it. It's maybe kind of used that as a little bit of a pre-season because obviously he missed so much football last year. And you kind of seen it with one or two other players. You sort of Wissa, who had a bad season for Newcastle, had a really good World Cup, and then he's obviously continued into that to yesterday. I thought it was outstanding yesterday for them. So
Mm.
yeah, maybe that big sort of cloud was over him, and then maybe that affected his physical state, obviously his mental state, obviously like you said with everything else that's happened. But like you said, 2 games for Arsenal, 2 games, 2 goals, looks like his old self. Let's hope he continues on that run. We'll go to some sort of something new, which I'm going to bring in a minute. But just going to this, Brian says Steve's still on the run. That's why he's late. He's still celebrating. He's just coming from the parade still. He's just coming from the parade. That's what it is. Yeah, he's still there on Upper Street, like hanging from the lamppost with the red flares. He's still got some red flares. He's got a shift. So that's what it is.
Right down from the lamppost, that was you and that, Steve.
Yeah, that's where he's been. He's exposed. Yeah, that's it. We know what you've been doing, man. You've been there all summer.
Yeah, they're celebrating.
Brian says the Odegaard was not fit last season. Saka not fit last season. Calafiori not fit last season. Havertz missing a chunk. Missed Rice for games and still won the league. Yeah, so it's kind of scary if you think if those guys are back on it, along with our defence being our defence, which has been reinforced. Obviously, we haven't got Saliba for a bit. Kind of scary for everybody else. But yeah, you're spot on there. The defence won us that title. Couple of guys came in clutch at the end. Trossard and Havertz with the goal against Burnley, but it was our defence that won us that title. Raya, Rice, the 2 centre backs. Timber up until he got injured.
Can I just say, Mike, just very quickly? I don't know if you mentioned it earlier while I was off there. There's one player who I'm going to mention, and that right-hand side looks pretty solid again, doesn't it? It looks pretty telepathic with Ben White, Bukayo Saka, and Martin Odegaard. The telepathy between them players is just different. Ben White's back. He's no longer with the injuries, and he's back. And you just saw it in the Coventry game. The overlaps, the timing of the passing from Saka, because he knows that Ben's going to be there. It's just different to Timber. It's just different to Timber, and we haven't had them three fully fit on their right hand side for quite a while, and it just frees up. It gives everybody space. So yeah, just thought I'd mention that one because it's Ben White.
Yeah. The Arsenal Bermuda Triangle, I like to call it, because once people get in there, they go missing, and that's it. It's danger for everyone. So great to see those three back. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, funny because it looked like he was odds on going out the door if he'd have stayed fit, but maybe the injury and him, it's kind of knocked all that sideways. And he looks, like you said, he looks like he's back to his best. Charles is with us tonight. Thank you, Charles. Done a couple of great comments. Obviously, let's address the elephant in the room. This opening weekend, Wright, his comments on Martinelli. I can't believe Wright painted the club as a villain here. We'll touch on that in a bit. We'll just do that after the player rankings bit. And again, talk about Alvarez. Sergio Aguero was hell bent on Real Madrid. Ends up a City legend. Are we fans too scared about non-commitment from Alvarez? Football is fickle, and it gives, if he gives 3 seasons, 90 goals, who cares? Yeah, again, we'll touch on that as well. I've got my thoughts on that as well. I think I mentioned it to yourself and Dan, but we'll talk about it. But let's get into this. This is something I've been trying to work on for a while, and it seems like I've finally got it right. So instead of giving 7 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10, 6 out, whatever, we'll just get you guys just to rank the players' performance, just so we can have something logged and for our own historical purposes. So going on the commentary performance, I'll go to you one by one, and you just tell me what you think of the guys' performance, if you want to talk about it as well, specifically anything you want to highlight, and then we can go on to the rest of the team. So I'll start with you, Dan. David Raya, what would you think of his performance against Coventry?
But I didn't do nothing wrong when called upon.
Solid, yeah. Cool. Anyone thinks any of these should be ranked anywhere else, jump in the comments, let us know. Steve, what about your boy Benny Blanco? Oh, you can't put him outstanding. I know that's where you want to put him. But,
You know he wants
it's up to you. It's up to you. It's your ranking, man. Where do you want to put him?
Well, if I can't put him outstanding, I'll put him one less. I thought, like I said, I just thought that right hand side looked like how we were 2023 that season. And like I said, that telepathy between the players of just, like I said, knowing where they are, the quick passing, the 1-2s around the box, Ben White overlapping, sometimes holding back. It just works. It just works for me. And I just think that is something that it could never be overlooked. Like I said, I love Timber. Timber's, as we all know, is probably a better one-on-one defender. He's got a great engine, gets up and down the pitch, can play multiple positions as well, inverts and blah, blah, blah. But just as a right back, yeah, I think I like Ben White. So yeah, I'll put him just under outstanding. That's fine.
Yeah, cool. All right. I'm sure once we do this anymore, you'll be giving him loads more outstandings as the season goes on. Hopefully, it'll be good for us as well, won't it? Dan Mascaro, what do you rank him?
I would say again solid. Yeah. Not the most difficult of tests, but solid.
Yeah, I thought he stepped up, maybe because there was a certain new signing in the building. Because I thought the last 20 minutes against Coventry, last 20 minutes against City, I think he started to make a lot of silly errors.
He did.
He did. Giving the ball away, looked really rash.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the point. Arteta must have turned around and said to look, we need to get cover. We need to get somebody else in. And then obviously the performance, against Coventry. I know it was Coventry. People want to say whatever, but I thought he was a lot more switched on and more locked in. So yeah, I'll agree with that. He was very solid. Steve, Gabriel.
Yeah, I thought Gabriel was solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's no disrespect to the opposition, because we look at one of our, the team that their fans said are going to win every single game and win the league and blah blah blah. You look at United versus Hull, for example, and they didn't step up. So I thought we were solid at the back. So I'm going to give them a solid.
Yeah. Cool, nice one. Dan Calafiori.
I would, if I was being a bit biased, I would say very good, but I'm gonna sit on the fence. I'm gonna say solid. Yeah.
Solid, yeah.
Yeah, I was very impressed with him, and he's kind of right on the fence of very good. But all being, everything considered, yeah, go on then, yeah. There you go. See, we're already creating.
Look, Steve, I don't want to leave you left out. Okay, so I'll put him there.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Steve, Miles.
Yeah, you know what? I just think he adds the balance to the midfield. I know both Bruno and Zubimendi are, in terms of their ability and experience, are ahead of him. But he's a left footer, and when he plays, our balance is right. So I'm going to put him. I thought he was solid, but maybe just in between. So yeah, in between.
Yeah,
I think he hits that mark. The kids had all this speculation around him about moving. Nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with his mum.
Yeah,
who's his agent. And he's handled it well. he's not let his performances dip. He's not let anything go to his head. He's come out and he said, "I'm Arsenal."
Yeah.
The manager's come out and said he's Arsenal. He's performed well, and like I said, that balance is, I think, the thing that it'll be interesting to see when Bruno plays, like ahead of him, for example, when Duke Martin plays ahead of him. See how that balance looks. I just think we're better balanced.
Yeah. Yeah. No. What? Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. Thank you. Dan Rice, Declan Rice.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. The engine, as usual. It didn't look like he'd had a busy summer. When he went on that power run that led to one of the goals, was just Declan all over. I would say Declan was I'll say it again, same as Skelly and Calafiori, just in between.
Yeah.
You
Cool.
still see probably needs a bit more sharpness, but that's all. That's all good.
Yeah, he was quality. He was quality though. I think there's some numbers that the amount of passes or amount of passes in the last third he made, like just crazy. And like the guy's not had a pre-season basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. Thanks for that, Steve. Obviously the captain.
I think he pointed captain's performance, to be perfectly fair to him. Yeah, captain's performance gets probably the highest ranking, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, this is the Odegaard that we know. This is the Odegaard that we all want to see. And as Daniel said earlier, to all the fans that were just like, oh, rubbishing him and trying to make him look bad and sell him off and all that sort of stuff. We all now know and can all now be very, very clear about it. If we weren't clear about it before, Arteta knows what he's doing. And it's just unfortunate with the injuries, but we still ended up winning the league because we're champions. So captain's performance gets the outstanding.
Cool, absolutely. Thank you, Dan. Saka.
Yeah, Saka was solid, I would say. I'll put him in the solid bracket. Yeah, did what he needed to do. Probably does need a few more games to get his
Yeah, he's not fit, is he? Really, he's like.
Yeah, he's still not 100%. Much fitter, but not 100%. But he was solid, nevertheless.
Cool, thank you. Havertz for you, Steve.
I'm going to go solid. I do like what he offers, but something in me I'm still very critical of him because he's not an out and out striker. But still very solid. I liked what he did. So yeah, solid.
Cool. Okay. And Dan Solis.
Solis was my favourite player of the game. Full of energy, not afraid, fearless. Again, with all due respect to the opposition, he put his best foot forward. He didn't slack off. We see that a lot when sometimes new players or good players kind of take it down a gear or two against opposition that they think we're just gonna turn up and win. But you could see he was on the ball from the get go. But I would actually put him in between very good and outstanding, same level as Benny Blanco.
Yeah, I thought so. Got a lot of the ball, didn't he? Left on in the first half. I don't know whether that was a pointed thing to do, obviously with Saka's fitness. But I mean, it's obviously Saka had the ball a lot, but a lot of times, him and Calafiori, he's getting fed the ball a lot. So yeah, outstanding from him. Like as you touched on, outstanding start to his Arsenal career. Obviously, with what happened last week, 2 assists as well, gets assist as well. For I don't know if he got the Premier League assist. I think he got it on his fantasy football. I think
fantasy football he got it, yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really good. Just runs all day, 100% effort. You saw the reception he got when he went back to his club to which is crazy to me. He's gone back there. He's getting a great ovation from both sets of supporters, and the amount of love they have for him still, because I think he's just an honest player. Just gives 100%. So yeah, I'd say he was really very good, very good, and just under touch outstanding. Obviously the guys that came on the bench, I don't think any of them really stood out. Really, one I kind of was going to highlight was Madueke. I just thought again he was just it was average to poor. I just think the guy, I don't know what's going through his head at the moment. I just find him really frustrating to play against and to play with, and I think you look at someone like Max. You know, do you need to put Madueke on with 30 minutes? You know, with 25 minutes to go, you're 3-0 up. Is he the person that you kind of do you need to give him minutes, or is it just a seniority thing? I think it's going to come to a point where Max is going to be the number the one that's going to replace Saka if Saka has to come out, because for me Madueke's not doing enough for us at the moment when he gets his opportunities. I know it's just a 25 minute spell, but I don't know what you think. Am I being harsh, or you think that's
No,
yeah
I don't think you're being harsh. To be honest with you, I would rather. I think for me this season, Madueke for me is a player who's got a lot to prove. He won a
yeah
title by default last year. He's for me, he needs to do a lot more to prove
yeah
he's worth in the squad. Otherwise, I'd much rather see Ethan coming on that right hand.
yeah yeah Steve?
Yeah, yeah. I you know what? I'm not going to criticize him too much because I think that everybody can see his weaknesses or his areas of development that needs to improve, and that's the end product.
Yeah,
In terms of like dribbling and the confidence to always go and dribble and take on players, he's got that. He's always got that. Even when he misses penalties, he's never going to take a penalty for us again. By the way, even when he misses penalties, you can always see that he's confident in himself and believes in himself enough, which is a great
yeah,
attribute to have. It's just that
yeah,
end product thing. It's very, very frustrating. I did say last season that he brings chaos down that right hand side. So defenders don't like playing against him because they know that he can skin them and beat them. But at the same time, they also know that his end product is going to be probably 70-30 in favour of 70 being useless and 30 being productive. So yeah, I think he came on and like created the most chances or whatever. But I don't know. I said, as Dan said, this is his season to step up, or we will have to be ruthless with him and move on from that because it's just frustrating.
yeah. I agree. And someone that the club has been accused of being ruthless too is been Gabriel Martinelli. Obviously, you both would have heard the comments made by Ian Wright after the game, and obviously mentioned by was it Charles in the chat? Yeah, it was Charles about that. What's your thoughts on it, Dan? Think he's being too harsh? Do you think he's out of order? Do you think it's right that someone who has been at the club for 7 years, obviously won the league title with us, to be kind of being forced out the door, or the fact that Wright said he hasn't been communicated to, he doesn't know what's going on, and then obviously there's been some footage of the press conferences that Arteta's done where he said he's had conversations with guys that he's had to leave out and things like that. What's your thoughts on it? Was it right? Was it out of order what Wright he did, or do you think is it because he's quite close with Martinelli? They've done a lot of stuff, a lot of content for Arsenal. Little videos and clips and stuff. And he's very close with his family. Do you think he was just going to bat for him? Or do you think he crossed the line in his role for Arsenal, which is kind of ambassadorial role?
Ambassadorial, yeah. Look, I love Ian Wright. Ian Wright is my favourite Arsenal player of all time due to the impact he had on me as a kid. When I
Mm-hmm.
started going to Highbury, he was the person that captivated me as a young one in the early 90s. I very rarely disagree with anything he says. However, on this occasion, Ian, you're an umpty for what you said. I think he's spoken with emotion, like you said, Mike, maybe due to his relationship with Martinelli. I think he's spoken with too much emotion and not enough empirical evidence. When you look at the
Yeah,
facts and the stats, Martinelli's drop off has been catastrophic. Yeah, he did get a few goals in the Champions League, but in terms of his contribution in the league, if you're looking at, he does get through a fair amount of running. He's good at tracking back. Yeah, we know that, which is great. But ultimately, as a forward player going forward, his decision making is poor. It's not the best. And at 25 years old, you would expect that he would have that on smash by now. Unfortunately for Martinelli, there are better players out there who can do what he does and more. And look at Solis and a couple of players. He's already showing the kind of promise that we were hoping to see Martinelli go on and really develop even further. And he may well go on to do that, but it doesn't look like it's going to be at Arsenal. I do think Ian Wright spoke out of turn. He shouldn't be commenting on the transfer business nature of the club. I feel as an ambassador, you need to stay in your lane and protect the club, protect the image, and leave the negotiation and discussions to Arteta and all the people that matter. Really, it doesn't do us any favors him sticking his head on this ball in terms of this discussion as such an influential person who's in and around the players and the club. He's not going to do him any favors. So yeah, I do think while he's entitled to his opinion, I do think he should not necessarily go on public to criticize the club like that. He's not an agent. He's not involved in the negotiations. He doesn't know what Arteta whoever said to Martinelli. So I think he's absolutely out of line. And Ian's always been a bit of an emotional. He was quite an emotional player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he's an emotional pundit as well. And I feel that it's got the better of him on this occasion. And I think when he wakes up in the morning, all things considered, if he's honest, he will say, you know what, I should have kept my mouth.
Yeah, I think, I'm pretty sure he's seen all the blowback he's had, from socials and various different places. Obviously, people have backed him and said, he's right to his opinion, as you said. Of course he is. But I think when he says stuff like that, in the presence of the likes, of Carragher and Neville, who love to, jump on Arsenal and have a negative slant, and them sitting there, that's kind of something that you expect one of those two to come out with. And obviously they'll have something to discuss now on their overlap show or whatever that podcast to do, stick to football or whatever it is. So I'm sure that's going to be a topic that they'll brush on. But I agree with you. I thought he was out of order. Arteta was there literally minutes before, had a nice interview with him. He had an interview pre-game, and he could have said something delicately, about it. Could have broached the subject a bit. How's Martinelli and Jesus? How are they feeling? And you could have phrased it in a much more political. A more. I can't find my words tonight. But he could have brought it across in a way that was going to be kind of respectful and not sort of put it the way he has and had this sort of reaction and he didn't, and he decided not to say anything to him when he had a chance to on 2 occasions, and he decided to say all that when he wasn't there, and I thought that was out of order. What's your thoughts on it, Steve?
Yeah, I have to echo everything that Dan said. Whether it was emotions, whether it's that connection he has with the family, whether he thought he needed to say something on their behalf almost, it was just not the right. A, not the right words to use. B, not the right place to do it. And C, as Daniel said, he kind of just needs to not almost stay in his lane and just not get involved in any of that sort of stuff. As everybody's rightly said, yes, he's entitled to his opinion. It just sort of it doesn't sit well. It doesn't sit well. Look, whatever. Fans are always going to be split with Martinelli. Me personally, I've always said, look, he works hard, loves the club. For £6 million that or whatever we spent on him, I said he's worked out to be an absolute bargain. If the club want to sell him, that's fine. If Arteta wants to keep him, that's also fine. Like I'm not one to say, oh, he must go. I think a new role for him, instead of just out on the left, is needed. Probably something more central. So it's good to see him get that sort of opportunity to do that. But if he's not going to get it at our club and he has an opportunity to go and get it elsewhere, I wish the kid all the best in the world. I just don't think Ian Wright needs to be commenting on it, because then we haven't heard him comment on like the other situations out there. He hasn't commented on Gabriel Jesus, whether there's been any talks or communication there. He hasn't commented on Ethan, whether there's been talks or communication there. It's he just needs to focus on what his role is at the club, and what his role is when he's working for any of the like media companies or whatever like that, and sort of just not get too emotionally into it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because if he's saying that there's been no communication, that means he's revealing club. What's the word? Like he's revealing club secrets, which you're not really supposed to do. Like, do you know what I mean? If you've got inside knowledge, you don't then reveal it and go, oh yeah, well listen, the club ain't doing this and the club ain't doing that. And you don't do that, because if you're party to those sort of conversations, you sort of have to just think before you speak.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'd love to. I still think I'd like to see Martinelli up front. But pure profit is pure profit, and if we can get, I still think the asking price for him is ridiculously low, by the way, especially in today's market when you're seeing some people go for like 75 million and they've got 2 goals in 2 seasons and like less than 20 starts or whatever, or 20 appearances in that period, and you sort of go, what, 75 million?
Yeah. We know what that's about. We know what that's about. City have flipped the actual fee, so what they're paying for Savinho is what they should be paying for Marmoush, and then the other way around. And the reason they're doing that is because if it goes over 59 million, City have to pay Frankfurt 10% or something like that. So that's why they're selling him for 59 million on the nose, and selling Savinho for 80 something million, just so City don't pay. City with all their millions, the bottomless, bottomless millions, and they don't want, So apparently that's the reason why he's 85 million. It's 85 million pounds. It's just to say, I agree with you both. In regards to Wrighty, and Mac does as well. Says no players bigger than the club needs. We will get the best transfer money we've ever got. Yeah, about time. If that do comes through, and it says right, you got transferred out off 98, and Vieira, imagine Vieira who got shipped out to Juventus in 2005. Yeah, the club needs are the priority. Yeah, and I think it's because I think we've become used to being a club that kind of keeps people. Not past their sell-by date, but we keep them, and then we don't even be able to generate any. Look at the number of players that we've left us, and we've hardly had anything from them. Ramsey, Aubameyang. We swapped Alexis Sanchez for Mkhitaryan. We didn't even get a fee for that. So you're kind of saying you're comparing the two, the same value, which is insane when you look back on it. And still the record sale is it 35 million? Is it Oxlade-Chamberlain? Is that still the same? That's insane. And yes, Brian agrees with you, and agree with you. Neil has been saying it from day one when he saw Martinelli playing in a pre-season friendly when he ran through and from centre forward, that he should be maybe used as a striker. But Arteta's the one that sees him every day at training, and he just doesn't trust the guy in that position, which is, and I think that says it all. And Brian says, right, he got too emotional when he should be still celebrating, and these things happening on the football. Yeah, it's all changed now. You see that clubs actually agree personal terms with a player before they go to a club now. That's all changed. That wasn't the way it was 10 years ago, was it? It was always the other way around. You go to the club, you agree a fee, and then you talk to the player. But it's all been switched up. Let's just touch on Ezri Konsa. Dan, you happy with the signing? I think, as we mentioned before, with what happened with Mosquera and obviously Marley Salmon being as amazing as he is, a generational talent, but just being 16 years old. You happy with the signing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Experience guy?
Yeah, absolutely. Good experienced player, England international, 28 years old. So he's not young enough to disrupt the development of Mosquera and Salmon. you know, 2 years time when Konza's knocking on 30, 31, you know, Salmon will still be a teenager and
Yeah,
Mosquera will only be what, 23, 24. So someone to
yeah,
come in, provide a bit of experience, bit of leadership, a bit of know-how. He's a winner. He's won stuff at Villa. So yeah, really good signing, good fee as well. You know, can't knock it really. Really good player. I've always liked him. Good on the ball, can play a couple of positions. Yeah,
yeah.
good addition to the squad.
Steve?
Yeah, we like a defender. So we got one of the best defenders in the league from last season in terms of duels, passing, everything. So he will come in, and we won't miss Saliba. Yes, it might take a minute or two for him to get that partnership with Gabriel, but yeah, I see him as somebody that can come in and we won't see a drop off, and we can give Saliba a much needed rest and not try to rush him back. Whereas if we had just gone with Mosquera into the season, we're sort of heavily reliant on him being able to produce consistently, and then not picking up an injury as well. So um, to have a player of that experience come in. Like I said, I don't think there were many better defenders than him in the league last season, apart from R2. From R2, probably Sleeper that was better than him. But yeah, he's. I like a defender. So that's my position anyway. So yeah, he looks like he's going to come in and just. We're not going to see a drop off. Basically, we're still going to be monsters. We're still going to be strong and physical and winning those duels, and he's going to win more duels as well. And it will help players like Marley Salmon as well. They'll see what this sort of level brings, that sort of consistency, that sort of drive from somebody different. If you know what I mean, he's learning from Saliba and Gabriel while he's there, and players like Ben White and Henkape and Calafiori. This is again somebody that's coming in that's 28 years old, very experienced, and he will learn. So yeah, it ticks all the right boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great sign. I think he comes across as a serious guy. A proper professional. Kind of no nonsense sort of demeanor when he plays. He loves the fact that he doesn't get beaten. There's this video of him talking in the England camp with Eze and Saka and stuff, and they're talking about he loves the fact that he doesn't get beaten one-on-ones and stuff like that, and obviously he's got a great rapport with the Arsenal boys as well, and again another addition to the English core as well, which is can't be a bad thing as well. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a sensible signing. As you said, Dan, the fact that in a couple of years Marley Salmon will still hopefully be in the club, and it will be just at the right time to sort of take over and and do what he has to do. Obviously Saliba, obviously we know that people in Spain always got eyes on him, and obviously Gabriel, he's a little bit older as well. So I think it's just future proofing. It is a really good move, and his first game could obviously be against his old club on Monday, this time next week. So that'd be interesting. So obviously we'll get into the end of the show, and it looks like things are hotting up in the transfer window. Rumours has it that Arsenal want to pull some sort of mad deadline day signing, and it seems like this guy is the guy, that we're putting it all our chips on after kind of floating around for the most of the summer. Now, lots of chat. Charles said earlier on a great comment about Alvarez, about the fact that he was hell bent on wanting to go to Real Madrid. He was told that he couldn't go there. Went to City, and the rest is history. He's got a statue outside the stadium, and all that stuff. Yeah, if you saw the footage at the weekend, I'm sure you've maybe seen it of him being jeered when he was on the bench, and then at the end of the game, jeered when he came on, and then at the end of the game being told to sort of just go down the tunnel, don't go over with the players to applaud the fans, and that made it even worse for me. It seems for him, the sort of the image of that. I mean, it goes without saying. I think he's the type of player, the technical player that Arteta would love to have in the attack. You know, someone that can play in the line and stuff. But everyone's saying, "Oh well, he'll start crying for Barcelona in you know in a season or what have you." But I'm kind of like, maybe we need to be sensible and grown up about it and say, yes, okay, well, sign for us. If you play well and you win us trophies, then you're putting yourself in the kind of shop window for them to say that you've not down tools or you've not regressed. Win us the Champions League, and then Barcelona can come in for you in 2 seasons, and we'll have a release clause, and then as long as they trigger it, fine. See you later. I don't see what I wouldn't have a problem with that, as long as this guy comes and he does the business, which I think he will, because I think he'll see the vibe, the family stroke warrior vibe that we have at London Colney at the moment. I think all these players get on really well. They all kind of love each other, but they also are on business as well. They're not there to mess about. And I think if he comes into that, and he's got Gabriel Heinze there as well, who's been key to that, I think he will do the business for us. I don't know what you guys think of that. Are we wasting our time? Are we going to get showed up like we did maybe a little bit? What some people are saying with Vinny Jr. with the whole situation with that, or would you be happy if we get him, knowing that he ideally would like to play for Barca? What's your thoughts on it?
You want to go first, Dan?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Atletico Madrid are not going to sell to Barcelona. That's, they're not going to. They've made that really clear, and they're hated rivals, between Atletico, Barca, and Real Madrid. So he's not going to go there at all, as much as he wants to. Do we have a chance of getting him? I would say so. Would I like him? Yes. He would be a perfect, a much better player than Jesus in the squad. Alvarez is someone who's got the technical ability. He's got the skill. He's got a lot of running in him as well. That's one thing that he is underrated. The amount of running he gets through a lot of running. But he's got good levels of fitness. I'd love to have him. He's a world-class player, I would say. I'd love to have him at Arsenal. Whether we get him is another matter, but maybe the situation that happened with him the other day might. Who knows? But yeah, I'm not. If you ask me how much out of 10 am I confident that we'll get him, it's pretty low. I'll probably say it's about a 3.
Yes.
I don't know if it's realistic, but at the moment it's a dream. But I hope we can pull it.
What do you think? What do you think, Steve?
See, I'm a bit torn. I look at numbers. I've been looking at like in terms of like what he could actually bring. Yes, he brings energy, technical skills, ability, tracking back, pressing. We saw all that during the World Cup, and we saw all that in like for Atletico Madrid. He does that a lot. Is he going to get the goals? I don't think so. That's my own opinion. I don't think he gets the goals. In saying all of that, like I said, he's not my first choice. He's not one that I was thinking, oh yeah, we must desperately like. He didn't. I think he would improve us, but I don't think he. I think we still have the same frustrations in front of goal. The thing that I always stop myself, as I said earlier on in the show, Mike, was if Arteta wants him, then Arteta knows better than me. So I can't argue with the man. You mentioned a good comment to me in terms of not every player necessarily has to come, has to say they want to come and wants to come. He could come and spend a year, 2 years, and then go to Barca, Madrid from there, and that's fine. Actually, it saves us a lot of hassle of going, oh, do we keep him? Do we not keep him? Are we trying to just keep a player there that doesn't want to be there? Look, if he goes, look, I've done a season or I've done 2 seasons and I want to go, we can just let him go, and then we can, as Daniel said, put a good release clause on him and make sure that we recoup our money. And someone like Madrid will probably pay that release clause for sure. because they've added 2 clubs, they've got the money,
Yeah.
and it then won't stop any of the younger strikers that are coming through. So, and we just signed one from Blackburn, didn't we? So
Yeah.
we'll have him
Martin,
and what's his name? What's the young striker that played in the Carabao Cup last season for us?
oh yeah, Andre. I remember
Yeah,
seeing this,
yeah. So they will learn from him as well if he was to come in. But like Dan, look, for people that don't understand what being into a player is and actually trying to go for a player of this sort of caliber, same with Vinny Jr. is the fact that we're at the table to do that is is what we want.
yeah.
Because if we go back 5 years, 6 years, 7 years,
Mm.
8, 9, 10 years, 11, 12, 13 years, we're not in that bracket.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? We're not at that table to even barely consider even thinking that we have a chance to get these players. People can banter us and go, "Well, you didn't get them," and you go, "Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah.
But other teams now know that we're serious and that if we want a player, money's not an object. We can afford it. It's whether the player wants to stay where they are or try something different. Vinny can't knock it. He's playing at Real Madrid, so his aim from the beginning of that was always to stay at Real Madrid, and he got a good contract and he stayed.
Yeah.
That's fantastic for him. But we were ready to pay and offer him what he needed should he have changed his mind. And the Alvarez situation, like I said, it's a bit different. I do think that they will try and play a bit of hardball, which is why I think it might just be a bit too late in the transfer window to get anything done. But if it doesn't happen, again, we've let our intentions, we let people know our intentions. This is the caliber of player that we want, and money is not an option. And especially if it's for the right player that the manager wants. If the manager wants him, like I said, it's not for me to say, "Oh, I don't want him because of this," or "I don't want him because of that."
Yeah.
The manager knows what he's doing, and he's proven that consistently. That when he wants the right players, they will come and they will perform. So let's see what happens. It's interesting times. It's interesting. I think if we get a couple of players out, I think if Jesus was to leave, and again he's another one that goes with our blessing. He was that standard razor, him and Sinchenko that season. But he goes with our blessing. Should he want to leave, but. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it's a difficult one for me, but like I said, if the manager wants him, I'm all here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get people saying, he doesn't want Arsenal. He only want players who want Arsenal first. And, if I have to convince them, then I don't want them. But that's what Arteta said. Arteta has gone on record and saying, I only want people that, want Arsenal. If they don't want Arsenal, if I have to convince them, no. But yet we're going after him still. So that tells you something, that there must have been conversations. There must have been something reassuring that he said to Arteta that, yeah, I love what you've got. I love what you're doing. I love the conversation. And let me, I just want to see what's happening with Barcelona. So if Arteta was true to his statement, then we wouldn't. Apparently Josh Kroenke's over there. Apparently Josh Kroenke's in Madrid trying to sort it out now. Why would he be there if going by Arteta's mantra saying, if I don't, if the guy doesn't want, so there's obviously some conversations we're not privy to, which I'm sure that Alvarez has either said to Arteta himself or whoever, or his people have said. That means that we're still kind of sniffing around and still want to try and get the guy. So as you said, if Arteta wants him, that just must means that he knows what he's doing, and he's going back on what he said in a sense, but there's good reason to, because obviously the guy's a top player. Yes, the numbers haven't been great, but I don't think he's enjoyed playing for Simeone for the last season, and the style of play and stuff. And for me, I look at the games that he played against Barcelona in the Champions League, and the game he played against us in the first leg when he wasn't even fit, and the game he played against Tottenham in the in the Champions League, where he absolutely ripped him a new one. It was unbelievable that night. You know, it looked like he was like a man, like with a point to prove. By putting in a performance against them, for me, that's what it kind of felt like to me. He was unbelievable tonight. If you watch the highlights of that game, just watch the way he was moving. He was unreal. So he's an unbelievable player. So yeah, let's see what happens. I think
Let's see
something
what
is going to happen.
happens.
I think something's going to happen. So yeah, thank you, Steve, so much. I know you had difficulties coming on, some gremlins, but appreciate you coming on. Dan as well, really appreciate you coming on for the 150th show. Thanks for all the support you've given me over the last couple of seasons. I can't believe it's 150. It's just crazy. And yeah, and there's another 150 more. I don't know what we would have won by then. Let's hope it's a lot more. But just before we go, just wanted to put up this picture of you know, the main man, Martin Odegaard, with his heroic pose after his kind of lucky goal. I was thinking on that picture, it looks quite familiar. I kind of feel like I've seen it before this weekend, and yeah, of course, yes, there it was. Certainly different emotions, but it kind of shows you the levels. You know, one sitting at the top and one at the bottom, wondering what the hell is going on again. Another bad season. So yeah, again, just levels, isn't it? Just
Right. Sorry, can I just say, right? Look, if we look at this, if we look, I don't know how to describe it. It's just them, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just them.
Just Spurs, man. Just Spurs.
A few Spurs fans I know were gassed and just like, yeah, we're back. And I was just like, back from where? Like, you've never been anywhere to come back to. Do you know what I mean? But it's like, okay, well, you're back. You know, yeah. Look at the signings we're making: 100 million on Tonali, 85 on Fernandez. Blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, listen. Then I expect big things from you. And they get absolutely touched, don't they? Come on, man. Come on. They could have lost that game by a lot more goals. They got absolutely touched, and it felt wrong. It felt right. It's what they do, doesn't it? But I think even the commentator during the match said, yeah, or was it a match of the day? I think Alan Shearer was like, they got absolutely battered. She's like, yeah, but that's what they do. That's literally what they do.
Yeah.
They get absolutely battered. So it's going to be a long season.
Long one.
Yeah, great stuff. Brian just saying he expects Conza to score on Monday. There, that'd be funny as well. But yeah, we've overrun a little bit. So thank you so much, gents. Really appreciate it. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll be back. We might be back midweek. Well, not midweek. We've got the Champions League draw on Thursday, I believe, and interested to see who we get. Might just have a quick sort of kind of latest reaction to it to see who we get. Have a look at the fixtures or the teams that we pulled out of the bag, and I'm hopeful we can welcome a certain Brazilian to the Emirates to see what he might have missed again. You know, if he comes here with his Real Madrid team, and I know Dan, we spoke earlier. You want PSG, don't you? You want to deal with them properly. You know, and Steve, is anyone in particular you fancy meeting? We haven't faced Barcelona yet since we've got back. I think, are they due? You think they're due a visit?
Yeah, you know what? There's some good teams out there, and for again these past 2 years, you just go, I don't fear anybody. Still, like, yes, PSG had a better attack than us, but they didn't do that much against us in the final. We kept them mostly quiet. So, you know, we played to our strengths, they played to their strengths, and our strengths were probably better than their strengths. It just went down to penalties. We know we can beat them. I'm not worried about them. Yeah. So I'm going to say, yeah, maybe Barcelona and Bayern again. I want us to beat Bayern again, because I think people are gassing them up already, sort of thing. And it's just we didn't face Bayern. We did. Yeah. We did. We beat them 3-1.
Yeah, you think we didn't lose in the Champions League last year, and we still didn't end up winning it. So you've got to look at that as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who we get. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that don't want us, and that just says it all really, and that's fact. So let's see. But thank you, gents. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Really appreciate it. It's been a
Thanks,
pleasure
everyone.
spending the time
Thank
with you
you.
guys tonight. Again, we may be back depending on how the kids behave on this summer holiday, man. Never-ending summer holiday for the kids. Let's see what state they're in on Thursday night, and if we can jump on and do something. So I'm not committing it to anything yet. If we're not back on Thursday, we'll be back next week after the Villa game, because obviously that's on the Monday night. But thank you so much, Steve. Love to you and your family. Same to you, Daniel. Love to you, family. Love to everyone in the chat. And we'll be back when we'll be back. And remember, gold on the sleeves. Remember, gold on the
Yeah, yeah,
sleeves.
gold.
Come on,
Gold,
Reds.
honestly, it's gold.
Newcastle, the central figure again, and he looks to trick